Welcome to the Museum of Dreams. You are now in the pod, a satellite of the museum's metaspace, a storehouse for holding and sharing dreams. Sit back and relax. For the next little while, time is entirely your own. During your visit, you may experience dreams simply by pressing one of the 3 black buttons by your side. After playing a dream, you may decide to record a dream of your own. Now, to play a dream, simply press one of the black buttons.
Set of dreams that I have from time to time. Riding a little bicycle. Either a bike, sometimes it was a motor scooter. And I was no longer young by this time. And this was part of it that I used to enjoy so much, because I would get on this little motor scooter and go over hill and dale, investigating forests and over mountains, and it was always beautiful. It was always the countryside, and I just felt so chuffed that I was still either cycling or going on this little moped thing. I would think, this is far better than the car. I love the wind in my hair. This is great. I had quite a few of those dreams, and I liked them very much.
In this dream, I was in the primary school with 2 of my friends, Lorenzo and Fausto, and it's all dark, there's nobody, and I hear somebody laughing. I don't know what's happening. Then with my friends I run away, and I'm in my house and there's nobody and the light is off. Then I said to my friend, just go in the room, we will be better there. We go, and when I'm going, I actually see 3 pair of red eyes. I'm not sure. And I sit on my bed, and I can see there are 3 clowns. A red one, a blue one, and a green one. And these clowns actually start to say, if you want to be alive, you got to pass 3 proofs. And then we start with the first one. And the first one is strange because it looks like to be in an action movie, like in Matrix. And there's all this scene when fighting, shooting. And then at a certain point, there's this point when a friend of mine, I don't remember who, actually got shot. Then I actually passed the first proof, and I was to do the other 2 proofs, only I got waken up for mommy to go to school. It was better, the dream was better.
It starts in the back lanes of a city and garage doors, and I'm walking along and I look up. I'm sort of a bit lost but not really worried, and I look up at the end of the street, and there's some guys there, some young guys, and I change direction down another lane and they disappear, but I come out around another lane and there's more guys, and they look up at me and they notice me, and I start going in the other direction and it's speeding up, and then I go around another corner and there's a whole bunch of guys, you know, and they're all looking at me and yelling at me, and I take off and I start running away down these lanes, and feel like I'm running downhill, and I get to a dead end in this lane, like a little cul-de-sac, and there's a wire fence next to a cliff, like Bondi or Bronte, or big cliff face down to the ocean. And there's a hole in the wire, so I go up to the wire and push through the wire to get to the little bit of grass that's on the other side next to the cliff. But as I'm getting through, they all run down and they hit the fence and I fall. And instead of falling, I slide out into the air above the cliff, and I can see them, and I'm level with them, but I'm getting higher, I'm going away and floating, and I just float up above the city and escape.
I remember it started with these normal life scenes in a fortified village. Then all of a sudden there was this attack from barbarians probably. Anyway, they attacked the village. All of a sudden was this scene of this person, probably me, I can't remember, holding in his arms this other person, sometimes a woman, sometimes like a relative or a parent. Everything around burning, dead people. Then all of a sudden there was this change of view. You could see this practically fake sky, and on the background this chain on far away in the distance. The bigger part of the chain was enormous, like each ring as high as a person. The ring where I was came to the front and the view in the middle. Everything stopped. This was the most terrible part of the dream, because at the same time the chain stopped. I stopped breathing, the time seemed to stop. I could nearly feel my heartbeat stopping. And what is 2-3 infinite seconds of total terror, because everything was perfectly still in such a ghastly way. And said that it was practically this time to try to scream at it every time I woke up after this.
Of course, one knows that everyone dreams. Particularly in the early hours of the morning. And I can remember talking to Mum and suggesting that I've had dreams about this event or that person. And none of them sufficient to stick in my mind. Beyond what I've told you. Of course, one knows that everyone dreams, particularly in the early hours of the morning. And I can remember talking to Mum and suggesting that I've had dreams about this event or that person. And none of them sufficient to stick in my mind beyond what I've told you. Beyond what I've told you, 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 what I've told you.
That's the beat. My head's on the pillow. That's the beat. Okay. This happens time after time, and I'm already anticipating the image, because it's every night the same. There's a row of little dwarfs, and they're 11, 12 across, and they're all linked arm in arm together, and they all look really similar. But they're walking around the corner and they're going to turn into Lodge Close. They're turning out of Blundell Lane into Lodge Close, and I live in Lodge Close at number 5, so there's not very far for them to go, and they're marching to a beat. They're turning in formation, so the one on the outside has to walk way faster than the other one on the inside. And it's the same every night. I'm mesmerised by them. But they never get into Lodge Close. They're always just turning. And the beat is always the same. The beat is always the same. And it's only later that I recognise it's my heartbeat. It's my heartbeat. That's the beat.
Thank you for visiting the museum.